In this video, I'll do a case study, and what we want to do is we want to use motionbuilder as an animation hub to bring an animation from CAT and put it on a biped. And of course, you could use the load and save animation and remap the bones and all of that. But if the characters have different structures and different length, you need to map bone by bone, and you need to do retargeting, and it can be time consuming. So what we're going to do, we're going to use motionbuilder as a tool to transfer animation from one character to the other using the same techniques that we've seen in the previous video. So what I'll do first is I'll go and I'll create a cat rig, and I'll create a base human. So I'll just drag it in here in the viewport. And this base human right now is just a name base. It's called base human. So if you want to reuse the naming template that we've done before in the previous videos, what I'll do here is I'll just say cat underscore, and it's named exactly the same way as the cat template, as the character template we did before. So if I look at the bones, you see that it's all named correctly. So what I'll do now is I'll grab the biped and I'll just create a biped. I'm going to make it of a different size so that, and also let's say change the structure a little bit, maybe add a few more neck links, so something like that, something maybe not that high, but something that's different so that we can see that we are saving time transferring from one structure to the other without worrying about the bone structure. So I'll turn off the biped creation mode, and now before we export, motionbuilder needs the character in T-stand pose to characterize them. So that's going to be very important that we do that before we do export it to motionbuilder. So I'll grab this one here. I'll just snap to angle, and I'll just rotate it maybe something like 75 degrees, and I'll grab this one and rotate it 75 degrees as well. Before I do rotate on this character, right now he is in setup mode, so I'll just go and create an absolute layer and call that T pose. That's going to be my layer naming, or just this is where I'm going to save this T pose, and I'm going to rotate grab the arm and just rotate it again 75 degrees, and this one here as well 75 degrees, and it's just to make sure they are in a T-stand pose like that. So now that we have both of them in T-stand pose, I'm able to export the rigs to motionbuilder for characterization process. I'm going to select everything, but I'm not going to select the foot platform, because those platforms are just helpers for animation control. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'll go in File and Export. Export selected, and I'm going to call that case study underscore. That's going to be cat to biped and underscore. Those are just the rigs. I'm just going to name that rigs. Of course, I'm using the FBX file format. And what's going to be important now is that when we're going to get the dialog, is to not enable animation. We're just exporting the bone and the length and all of that. So export that. Once this is exported, we're going to go into motionbuilder. I'm just going to open what we just exported, which was a case study here. Open that up, and I'm going to bring everything. So we see that we've got our two bone structure. The biped is here, the cat rig is there. So what we'll do is, the biped is easy. We're going to go in template and characters, grab the template for biped, say characterize, and now we've got our character for recognize as biped. For the other one, we're going to merge in the template that we did a bit before. So it was character to rig here template. We're going to bring that in, and you'll see that we're going to get a character called cat underscore character. I'm going to double click on it. You see that no mapping has been done yet, but the naming template is there. So it's very easy to go into the schematic view, grab everything that relates to cat, use Alt, and drag it anywhere in the window, and you'll see that all of the base required is done automatically. I'll say characterize that as a biped, just create a control rig, FKIK, we're good with that, and then go to the producer perspective, and we've got our rig there. Of course, we're not going to animate, we're just going to load an animation from 3ds Max. So we'd like to create an animation in Max and put it on this structure here, and then load it on the biped and have the biped having exactly the same animation. So to do that, I'm going to grab the cat character, go into the motion panel. I'm just going to create the procedural walk cycle. Play that. We're going to leave it as so, not worry about doing more than that. And then we're going to grab all of the bones of the cat rig without the foot platform. And for that, we're going to export selected, and we're going to export not just the rigs but the animation. I'm going to call that anim and save that. And this time when we're going to be prompted to export, we're going to say that we want to export the animation this time, and OK. It's going to give us a few warning, and that's just OK. It's just going to sample the animation. That's fine, and OK. We're going to go to Motion Builder, grab one of the bone of this guy, say File, Motion File Import. We're going to grab what we've just did, animation like so. We want to load everything in the selected hierarchy, and that's fine. Import that up, and we've got our animation. Oh, the reference is not that, but that's fine. I mean, we're just going to do it this way, so that's good. So we're playing the animation. That's good. And right now, what I'd like to do is to save this into the control rig. So I'll go here in Edit, Plot Character, and we're going to plot that onto the control rig, plot that as well. So now what we have is a control rig, and we've got all of these animation on the control rig. The reason why I've put it on the control rig is that now that it's on it, I can go back and say, well, the reference here, which didn't come in correctly here, I'll just place it so that it's correct. So I'm just going to move it here like that, so that it stands on the ground like so. So now it's in proper position. What I'd like to do is to load this animation onto the biped itself. So I'll go onto the biped, and I'll just move it in here so we can see what we're doing. So I'm going to go here and say Edit, Input, and I'm going to say use the cat character here and stand character in. And now what we have, if I play the animation, you'll see that our biped is moving exactly the same way. To be able to re-export that to 3ds Max, what I need to do is to go back to the character. Where did I put this one? There you go. So I'm going to put it back on the side here so it's in the front. So I'm going to grab the biped and say File, Plot Character. I'm going to plot that to the skeleton, and OK. And as soon as it's done, we've got our animation on the bones. So we are ready to grab the biped and say File, Save Character Animation, and we're going to call that anim for biped, so BIP. So we're going to load it back on the biped inside of 3ds Max. So now we plotted the skeleton. It's exported, like save this. This is good. Then we're going to go to back to Max, and we're going to just go here and say File, Import, and we're going to import that BIP file as FBX. We will bring in the animation, and we will update the scene element. And OK, so it's going to find the biped animation. It's going to put it there, and then we can play the animation, and we've got exactly the same thing on the two characters. So no worry about the number of spine, no worry about the number of neck bones and all of that, and not worrying about the height as well. Motion Builder handled it very well because those were two characters, and that's why it's so useful to use Motion Builder as an animation hub to bring animation from any rig to any rig, either it's a Maya animation or Softimage or 3ds Max, one of the three animation system. It's very easy to port animation from one character to the other.